Well, I'm packed up and ready to go. Much needed weekend away after a long, hot summer, and just the time to get away and do nothing or whatever I want. Just a couple days, sometimes that's all it takes. And we'll decide what we're gonna do when we get there. Doesn't it sound wonderful? With all the rain, this washed out pretty good. Yep. But I'm here at the camp. I'm sure the mosquitoes are waiting. Got my camp set up and my thermocell cranking, keeping the mosquitoes away really well. And it's been raining so much, there are mushrooms everywhere. So we'll see if we can find some we can eat. So here we are. My competition is everywhere. The slugs. Ooh, what's this over here? Not chicken of the woods. That is what I'm looking for mostly. Puffballs. I know with all that rain, they're around. Just gotta keep my eyes open. We'll have them for dinner tonight. Okay, blackberries are out. Not black raspberries, blackberries. And there's a honeybee. Used to be able to follow them, just kind of sit near a place where there's a bunch of them, see which way they're flying, and then try and find the hive, which a lot of times is up in a dead part of a tree or a hollow part of a tree. But if you can find some honey, that'd be great. There's quite a few honeybees here, so that's good to see them. And I knew in this clearing there'd be some huckleberries somewhere, and there we are. Or blueberries. At the top of this mountain. They love the tops of mountains. Shaggy bark hickory. It's a small one. I don't know if there's any nuts there. No, they should be coming out really soon. The squirrels get on them pretty early. But not many squirrels around here with a number of fishers. See the big leaves like that? Compared to my hand, those are big leaves. And they got the shaggy bark. But those are real good. You don't have to roast them or anything. Really good. But they're a lot of work. Of course, the acorns. They're about there. The only problem with acorns, they're pretty bitter. You can eat them. You can eat them, but they're pretty bitter. There are an amazing number of elm trees here. And the half-dead ones are good for morels in the early spring. When the ground temperature gets like 50 degrees or so. But you have to look hard for those morels. Mushrooms, they're not around this time of year. Not in this part of the country. Of course, my favorite wild nut is the beech nut, but they're not out yet. They will be out in a few weeks or so. And you have to fight. Everything loves to eat those, of course. And I just love them. Lots of beech here. But the mice and everything pick them up pretty quick. Get a little birch bark for fire starter. Since it's so wet, there's oil in it. It lights up really good. Well, just seeing where I am now, I'm just going through a tangled mess here. I'm just all over the place wandering. The road's right up here. Just curious as to where I was. Now I use a Garmin InReach. I mean, it's really good. Like, you would never know the road was right here. But you can get turned around so easy. But I use that Garmin InReach, and I've had it for over a year now. That thing is fantastic. If I can go past dark and still get back to my camp. You know, just like I got a flashlight. I think it's just so accurate when you put down a trail. And if you find a spot where, you know, maybe you find a good spot for morels or some good fiddleheads or something, and you can just drop a waypoint there and just come back to that spot, find it easy enough. And take a picture of this and try and figure out what these are. But I just love that InReach. That thing is fantastic. Every time I see red berries, I think of ginseng, but nothing here. Ooh, with all those mosquito bites, there's some jade plants. Oh, look at that. Lots of them. See those little orange thingies? I'm not getting destroyed by... Those are some pretty flowers. Tons of bees. Here's the road. If I can make it to there without too much disaster. Here we go. Yep, I got wet. But you just take these and you rub them on your insect bites. The leaves, and it's like a natural, keeps them from itching and swelling and getting infected and so on. Of course, moss also, since it's so wet and there's tons of mosquitoes, the moss too. If you get a bunch of that, maybe boil it down, squeeze the water out of it, boil it down. It has iodine in it to treat infections and so on. And probably the bug bites or cuts or whatever when you've been in the woods for a while. Since iodine is such a heavy element, it'll stay down at the bottom and you can just consolidate it, maybe put a little bottle or something. That's my idea. But, ooh, what's that over there? Oh, milkweeds, tons of milkweeds way over there. Off in the distance. I think it's swampy over there though, or something. I might not go over there. I didn't put my boots on like a dingbat. Okay, we're on state land here, and now I gotta figure out what this is. I remember the houses for the emerald ash borer. And now there's a little plate of water. It's Mark 13. It's Wiarton. They put a lot of effort to put it in this flag, and it's right by the road. I wonder if we have some new invasive species. They're trying to figure out what it is or what the deal is. I don't know if I want to know. Oh, there's another one over there. Okay. Maybe just doing mosquito checks or something. Who knows? All right. I think I'm real late for that chicken out of the woods. I think it is. But, yeah. And here we have chicory, Queen Anne's lace, which is wild carrots. This is the second year. You need them the first year when they're little tiny things. Let's see if we can find some down here. And you pull them up, and you can tell they're definitely carrots. You pull them up and they smell like carrots. This is a second year one, but it smells very carroty. I mean, the second year ones are, they're biennials, are kind of woody. You got to get the first year ones, you know, the little carrot looking thingies down there, you know, like this. But kind of give them the first year when you cook them up, they're kind of tender. Of course, you usually find the stuff along the roadside. And got tons of wild clover. Good greens to eat, high in protein. There's different types of clover. That's the grass-like clover. The other ones have these little seed tops. They're very tasty, these other kind. But I'm not going to find them right here at the moment. They usually like the shaded areas, the other kind. They're very tasty. There's the milkweed pod. Oh, there's a pod right there. You can eat the pods when they're pretty young and tender. There's probably a monarch butterfly right there. The beginnings of one. Or some sort of caterpillar. It doesn't look like a monarch. It looks like something else. But yeah. Here we have a little spruce tree. And usually people take the needles and put them in the cup, you know, and boil it. But I find it better, you take the little green branches right here, the little green twigs, small ones. You grind them up in your fingers, you know, and you can smell. It's pretty strong. And then you put it in the cup and boil it, and it has a nice strong, you know, spruce tea flavor instead of just a watery needles flavor. Just put in a butternut squash, tin foil. I'll give that like an hour or so. I'm going to have to flip that over, but usually the tin foil rips. Or I can just kind of make this into some sort of an oven. Put another rock on top of it or something, a big rock, and just kind of keep the heat in. There we go. We'll try that. And we'll flip it over in about a half an hour. Raven's not happy. Well, maybe he is. Maybe doesn't even know I'm here, but I doubt that. They're pretty smart. Get some coffee going. I just saw a fisher. Let's see if I can bring him in. Well, I didn't bring him in. I guess he was passing through here, or she was passing through here, and probably didn't hear my call because of the wind. You're not allowed to trap them here yet, which is ridiculous. I talked to the DEC and said there's a million of them here. I see them. My son and I have seen them here. And I've been in this pine forest with tons of pine cones for days. I did not hear one red squirrel. I've noticed since the fishers moved in here, that has put a real dent in the squirrel population. I've only heard 2 chipmunks. And usually, that was in the oak forest with tons of acorns. Usually there's tons and tons of acorns left over, which is great for the bears and the turkeys and the deer and so on. But usually when you see tons of acorns like that, you see squirrels everywhere. But and I've seen the fisher chasing squirrels, but I couldn't get a good footage of it. But they're definitely here. I'm just glad they weren't messing with my tent last night. I'll take a bear over a fisher messing with your campsite any day. Here we have a mayapple, and it's the end of August, so 2,000 feet we're at, and probably the last one in the whole woods. Yeah, it's a little wild tasting, but it does taste kind of like a lemon. The inside's really good. Oh man. The inner real gushy part tastes like wow. That is really good.